Be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by the divine. We're very happy that all of you have joined us in this divine 7 days journey of transformation of self, in turn, family, society, and world. The recent few months have been testing time for the entire mankind, and the only prominent emotion which has been spreading is that of you fear, anxiety, helplessness, and worry. That too in the entire universe has been unroutine, and all our plans have been dumped or thrashed. So this situation is either a punishment or an opportunity, and it depends on which glass or window which all of us are looking for. So each of you who are in the session right now, by choosing to attend the session, you've already made the choice, and that is to change the situation, to start your first step towards understanding life 360-degree. So we all need to congratulate ourselves, and each of you have to congratulate yourself. And I hope you all are as excited as we are in taking part in this 7 days session. Now, each of you are going to spend around an hour and a half of your valuable time by joining the session with an expectation of learning something, gaining something, or even at least unlearning something. So, before we all tell you about the session, we really want to share some of the feedback which we received from the Tamil session, which was conducted about a fortnight ago. So, when Professor Muthu and his Qatar team wanted to start the session, he had and he continues to have only one objective, that is, at least 10 people should benefit from it. But with Guru's grace, over 600 families benefited, and that too across the globe. And they've enjoyed the 10-day session which was conducted. So let me quickly share some of the feedback which we had. So one participant said, I get angry all the time and I end up screaming at my wife and son. Though I realized it later, I'm unable to control it. This is what that person said. But this was what he said on day one of the session. I think by day 5 or 6, he understood how to handle it and started his journey towards introspection and was trying different means to control his anger, one step at a time, one day at a time. Another lady said, I used to always be worried and stressed about my son not doing well, lack of understanding from my husband's side. Now I understand why it is, and I've been able to appreciate the situation after the course. More importantly, in connection with what's happening now, one lady had said, with all this news about death, sickness, illness, and negativity all around, these 10 days, I've been able to come out of anxiety attack, which I was feeling. And I'll make an effort to change my home environment to positive. So some of them found their answers as to how to handle their boss, how the law of cause and effect works, how to reduce digital addiction, be it WhatsApp, TV, anything, any kind of digital addiction to digital detoxification, how to connect to kids and family, and how to mind their mind, and also how to put self before everything else. So rest assured, the Qatar team will truly take you through a life transformational journey of discovering a new you, of creating a healthy you, and also for creating an energetic, positive atmosphere for your family and for the people you're working with or for. So what is this session going to give you? Stress-free life? Is that even true? Well, know about it in these 7 days. Discover the secrets and the amazing but simplified techniques. Attract success. Well, if it was that easy, why would everyone not do it? If that's what running in your mind, you will learn what is the definition of success for each one of you and how you can fill your life with it. These 7 days will be a gift to you, an ocean of knowledge, not bookish or theory, but life's knowledge. Senior professors like our divine couple, Senior Professor Balchandran, Senior Professor Jayanti Balchandran, they've traveled across the world and they've made deep, life-changing impact in hundreds of lives. They'll join you in these sessions and share their immense knowledge and experience. In addition, there will be special session by seasoned Vedatrians, seasoned by their knowledge, by their understanding of life and its nuances. As one family, along with the Qatar team, the Peace Army of Vedatri Maharshis, his disciples will reach out to you. How you benefit from this, how much knowledge you draw from this is entirely up to each one of you. So March 4th, joining hands in global synchrony to bring out happiness and peace as one family, Vedatrian global family, who are ambassadors of peace and world citizens. So there's lots more in the basket, and each day will be made exciting and interesting by this team, a team of dedicated people with activities, homework, taking us back to school and college days. So hope we've got you all excited about the next 7 days. So before handing over to Professor Muthu, let's just get a sneak peek about him. So he's been a Vedatrian for over 29 years. He's imbibed and filled every aspect of his life, 360-degree actually, with concepts of Swamiji and Sky. He's an engineer by profession, a successful manager in one of the top companies in Qatar for over 22 years. More importantly, a caring individual, a leader who leads his team from the front, both personally and professionally. He takes his team along and gives opportunity for everyone to grow and flourish, a mark of a true leader, actually. As a speaker, and there was someone who gave feedback in the Tamil session that he has a very crisp voice. Well, I'm sure you all will agree after you hear him out. And he's also very articulate and approachable. He connects his entire range of audience from 5 years to 80 years. If Sky is thriving and growing in Middle East, Professor Muthu's contribution is definitely significant. He and his dedicated Sky Brigade are spreading waves of Vedatri in Gulf. He's one of the key coordinators in Middle East. Okay, so that's enough about Professor Muthu, but let's know an interesting fact about him. He's a man who's never aged. Yes, it's truly shocking. In spite of being a granddad, he seems to have discovered the secret of anti-aging. I couldn't guess his age when I met him. One of the secrets that we all know for sure is his zest for life. He has artistically adopted Vedatriam in its true essence, that too holistically. He's a perfect blend of maturity with childlike approach, the person who truly practices what he preaches or says, a stalwart leader and an exemplary individual. On the whole, he's a man whom we all depend on and admire. So hoping Professor Muthu will share his secret for youthfulness too in these sessions. So now I'm handing over the session to him. Thank you all for listening.
May the whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. May the whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. Be blessed by the divine. Pranams to every one of you. Excellence is a continuous process and not an accident. We all are united virtually here as a step towards excellence. Who are we? We are an educational institute, World Community Service Center. It's a non-profit, non-religious organization. And we have systemized education models aiming for every individual to live peacefully, happily, so that it spreads to world peace. My humble salutations to our Guru, Sri Vedatri, who is the founder of World Community Service Center. I also wish to thank the President, Padma Shri S.K. Mailanandan. Under the guidance, organization has been growing a lot. And also, I wish to thank Senior Professor Balachandran Jayanti Amma, Director of OSFC, a wing responsible for other states and foreign countries under WCSC. Special thanks to Rajashekar, Joint Director, OSFC, who has been helping not only for this program a lot. In fact, from the day Qatar Center was formed in 2002. Now let's move on to today's session. Kumaresan sir, can you hear all of you? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. No problem.
Great. What do you think the greatest lesson we must learn from Corona, COVID-19 virus? Without a visa or legal document, the coronavirus has succeeded in crossing the borders from East Asia to West Europe, affecting 1.7 million individuals, failing to discriminate people based on their status, wealth, age, or citizenship, leading to a global lockdown. It has created an unprecedented situation around the world. What nature is trying to teach us? Is it not that the entire humanity should analyze this? Let's do from our part generally. Modern humans are believed to have evolved around 200,000 years ago. We discovered ways to domesticate plants about 12,000 years ago. discovered metals about 8,000 years ago and started writing about 5,000 years ago. We all know human is the best creature among all the creatures we have. And we have achieved tremendous growth in all areas. Let it be communication, digitalization, transport, production, and medical science. Anything you take, we had tremendous growth. Irrespective of all our achievements, if I ask a simple question, are we enjoying happiness all the time in our life? Before Corona, I would say we are not able to say yes, because we have to admit the fact that we have been struggling to enjoy happiness. Are we really successful? Are we really progressing in our life day by day, year by year? Our ancestors, great scholars, sages thought about these questions long time with basic fundamental questions like why humanity is suffering, why disease is coming, what is that we are not able to enjoy happiness all the time, not only in individual level, on a national level, world level, why there are problems. Our founder, our guru, Sri Vethathiri, has identified 3 fundamental causes. They are the root causes for all the problems in our life. Those who can see the PowerPoint slide, that would help you to understand what I am talking. Now, what are the root causes for all the problems in life, either individual or worldwide? The first problem is we have not understood about ourselves thoroughly or fully, either men or women. That means we don't have the thorough understanding about ourselves. The second root cause is we have not understood about our society where we live. And the third root cause is we have not understood about the nature or the Almighty or the supreme power, or you can name it as God. If anyone has the thorough understanding about all these 3 things, he can live a blissful life. Even Corona is an example. We have not understood some part, either about ourselves or about the nature or even about the society. So let's try to analyze now to some extent in this 7 days program. We will be trying to understand about ourselves, about the society, and to little bit about the nature, and so that you have some basic fundamental knowledge to direct your life in a more better way. Now, when I say that we have not understood about ourselves thoroughly or fully, some of you may not accept this. What is this? I don't know about myself. I know about myself a lot. Let's do a small introspection. How much we know about ourselves. Now, if I have to, we know a lot about other things, even about our neighbor, my son, my father, my wife, but how much I know about ourselves? How to start that? We have basically 3 things important within us, in the sense that we have a physical body within us, and we have a mind within us, and we have an energy within us. Without that, I am dead. The energy is the one which is keeping me alive all the time. Let's try to analyze, introspect, how much we know about the physical body, how much we know about our mind, and how much we know about the energy what we have within us. You can call that as a life force, life energy, soul, Atma, Prana Shakti, Jivan, Uyir. There are different names for it, but without that energy, I am dead. So we need to analyze how much we know about each one of that. Let's start with the physical body. How much we know about that? Nowadays, most of us have great knowledge about our physical body. But the medical science also says, everything is made up of atoms, including from mobile phone to entire sun or universe. Now, human body is also made up of atoms. Biologists say that we are made up of 7 octillion atoms. That means if you put 7, after that you may have to add 12 zeros after that, That many number of atoms, average, a human body has it. But what is the use of knowing that? Immaterial. But at least we know what we are made up of. We have different systems like digestive system, respiratory system, circulatory system, drainage system, communication system, and every system is doing a fantastic job. And every system is made up of organs like digestive system, starting from mouth, food pipe, stomach, etc., etc. And every organ, we know about that. We know a lot about what food is good for us, and exercise is good for us, and what are the things we should do and we should not do. So we have little bit, quite a bit knowledge about our physical body. But I have a question. If we know a lot about our physical body, then why humanity is suffering from all kinds of diseases? Even corona, experts say those who have low immunity will affect them. So why we are not able to, every one of us are not able to have high immunity strength or high immune power? That means we know a lot, but we may not put into practice. We may not implement what I know. Everybody knows walking is good in general. How many of us are going for walking every day? Hardly, maybe 30%, 40%, not all. Even if somebody goes for walking, that doesn't mean he is in good health. That we are going to learn now. What do you mean by good health? Good health is not just absence of diseases. Okay, we will learn. Now, just for physical body, we know a lot, but we don't put into practice. So we get into problems like diseases. Now let's go to the second component, mind. How much we know about our mind? What is mind? Where is mind? Though the medical science has advanced a lot, they don't have the full knowledge as our sages, our ancestors, our scholars who had told about mind thousands of years back. In fact, they devised a practice called Raja Yoga to control our mind, to keep our mind not only healthy and wealthy. We will learn that as well. Now we all, if I ask you not to think about Aishwarya Rai for next 20 minutes, I'm sure you will think about her a lot, more often, more strongly. That is the nature of our mind. And we are told, mind is like a monkey. You may be listening to my speech, but some of your thoughts might have gone to London, US, or dinner, anything. So physically, though you may be in front of the phone or laptop, but mind can go somewhere and come back here. So mind is always not stable, not under my control, that we know it. So regarding mind, what we know, really very little knowledge. We know that it is behaving like a monkey. It is not in my control, but I have very little knowledge about first, where is mind? In movies, they show on the left chest or the right chest. But where exactly the mind is? If you cut the body medically, they can't find where is the mind. People say, yes, it is related to brain. Is it really related to brain? So all that our scholars had wonderful knowledge, and our founder, our guru, has given wonderful knowledge, starting from what is mind, where is mind, why mind is behaving like a monkey, to the practices by which we can control our mind. That's about mind. Let's jump to the third component, life force or life energy. How much we know about it? Without our permission, we are born. And we don't know when it will leave my body. Only doctors have to certify. When doctors certify that I am dead, I don't know. But I have some energy which is running me, making me alive. And when the medical doctor try to find out what is this energy which is making a human body alive or dead, they did a lot of research. Just after death, they weighed the human body. Absolutely no difference in the weight before death, after death. And they can cut anywhere. They can't find where is the soul or spirit or life force or life energy. They couldn't proceed their research after that, beyond that, because they have to see something to do a research. This is an invisible thing. Of course, we all know physics tells us energy is invisible. The current, we can't see the current, but we can feel the current, right? So with the practices, we can also feel our own life energy if you practice, if you learn this, our yoga practices. Okay. So now life force, Just to summarize, we know a lot about our physical body, but we don't put into practice. So we get into diseases, most of us. So second one, we have very little knowledge about our mind, and we really don't have the full control of our mind. And life force, even we don't have any knowledge about life force, at least compared to mind, we know something. And energy, we have very, very little knowledge about energy, and we have absolutely no idea. Now, coming back to the questions or the statement what our scholars and our guru made, the fundamental cause for all the problems in every individual or world level, there are three. Man has not understood himself thoroughly. So we have not understood thoroughly because we have little knowledge about mind and life force. Though we know little bit about body, we don't put into practice. Even Socrates said, tie yourself, know yourself. If you know yourself thoroughly, fully, you can achieve anything and everything. This is what great Vivekananda also said. You can achieve anything and everything. Now let's understand what I should do. Where can I learn all these three? Though we might have studied biology. Biology doesn't talk about energy, life force. So where can I learn all these techniques? And what is the solution? Not only to know these three components, not only to know about myself, and also I need some practice to put under my control. I should know why I get disease, when I will get disease, and how can I cure myself. I know how to how to take care of my mind. So all those things, I should have some practice. Scholars used to tell our mind is like a knife. If a kid, 2-year-old kid has a knife in his hand, the kid can kill himself. Unfortunately, most of us, we use our mind like a knife by damaging ourselves. Those who are angry, agitated, tensed, stressed, opposing, blaming or criticizing or arguing, all of us, we are damaging ourselves. So we need to have some practice to take care of our mind. Now, what is the solution? We all know that if I have an incomplete knowledge about something, what will happen? Suppose I have a laptop or I have a phone. If I don't know about my mobile phone, I might have purchased a mobile phone for ₹1,00,000, high-fi mobile phone with all the features. But if I don't know what is that mobile phone have, then I may be taking the mobile phone to my bathroom. Or I may use it as a paperweight because I don't know about my mobile phone completely. Similarly, if I don't have complete knowledge about my physical body, my mind and my energy, I may handle it very wrongly and then I get into problem. And that's what most of us have been doing it, and we need to know about that. The best solution to not only to know about all these three, to get all of them under my control is, the solution is yoga. We all think yoga means putting our leg on the neck, standing on my head, or doing yogasana. Absolutely, yogasana is only 1/8 of the entire yoga. Yoga means yuj. Yuj means unite. Unite means there is no conflict anywhere. So what is yoga then? Yoga is any practice which achieves harmony among body, mind, and life force. If I have conflict between what my body thinks and what I think, then there is a problem. I want to go for walking now. Mind wants, but the physical body says, oh, leg is paining or knee is paining. No, I can't walk more than 5 meters or 5 kilometers, 5 minutes. Then there is a conflict between body and mind. I want to go for walking. My body is not supporting my thought. I have a problem here. This is called stress. Oh my God, I can't walk more than 5 minutes. Then how can I be healthy? I have a serious problem in me. Now, the stress is started here. If I can't accept what it is, stress starts there. Medical science says if I go to bed, within 30 seconds, I have to sleep. That means if I don't get sleep in 30 seconds, I have disharmony either between body and mind or body and life force. One of the harmony is disturbed. Now, yoga helps to achieve harmony among the three, body, mind, and life force. this is not enough. I have to achieve harmony between myself and the society. Maybe I may be fighting with my wife or my neighbor or my colleague in the office. Still, I am lost. So that harmony is also very important between myself and everything else around me. And not only that, the ultimate objective of yoga is to achieve harmony between myself and the nature or the supreme power or the God. If I can achieve this ultimate purpose of becoming one with the supreme power, then I live a blissful life. It is not a happy life, it is a blissful life. So yoga provides all the harmonies among body, mind, and life force, between me and society, between me and the nature. So yoga is any practice which achieves this. Let us not think about only yogasana. Now, according to World Health Organization, they say complete health, good health means is not just absence of disease. It is not absence of disease. Good health means I should be physically healthy. That is one dimension. The second dimension is I should be mentally healthy also. You know, the 21st century, the biggest threat facing the humanity is mental depression. Starting from 3-year-old boy to 100-year-old adult, they have stress. Then mentally not healthy. And the third is the social health, how I am with other people. And the fourth one is we have energy within us. You can call it as a spirit or soul or Atma. That also should be in harmony with my mind, body, society, and nature. If not, my health is disturbed. Yoga provides practices to achieve physical health, mental health, social health, and spiritual health. All these are philosophical explanation. How much I can believe on these 4 dimensions of good health? See, now the great scholars, they also say, now the doctors started recommending do meditation for all. At least for BP, they started telling immediately. They don't, some of the doctors, they don't give sleeping tablet. They say, please do some meditation, learn some yoga. And he is a founder. The whole objective of his organization is every individual should have a blissful life so that the world peace will come. And it is not only success. Some people believe we have to learn yoga after 60 years. Not at all. You can start practicing yoga from any age. But our yoga can be practiced from age 14 because it is not only for spiritual progress, it is for material success. Either you are at office or at home or anywhere with friends, you will be able to enjoy. What is success? There are many definitions. Simple definition as per dictionary, success means achieving my goal, accomplishing my ambition. In a traditional Indian movie, villain also achieves whatever he wants. He wants to kill somebody, he kills. Simple. Is he really successful? We know at the end of the movie what happens to the villain. Definitely, we don't want that kind of success in our life. Success means progressing without compromising my happiness now or in future. If I do anything which gives me happiness now, but tomorrow if I am going to suffer, that is not the true success. And we need to have that success in our life every day, every minute. And yoga provides holistic approach to have that kind of success. How I am saying? 50 years back, scholars have identified a terminology called IQ, intelligent quotient. If you want to be successful, you should have high IQ. IQ means your intelligence using your brain. How much my brain is giving me a lot of intelligence capabilities, accordingly, my IQ is good. If your IQ is high, you can be successful in life. So what is IQ? Your IQ factor based on 4 factors. How much you are able to concentrate on one thing. You make a coffee, how much you are concentrated. Single focus. And how much memory you have. What kind of analytical thinking you have. And how much comprehensively you can think all the data you have in front of you. These 5 factors, they decide your EQ. Your memory. If somebody, I think one person has an IQ of 300 and he knows 40 languages. And memory. If your memory is great, your IQ is good. These are the factors 50 years before scholars have identified if someone has to be successful, he should have IQ. 30 years back, they found IQ is not enough. You should have EQ, emotional quotient. What is emotional quotient? They said emotional quotient is the ability to manage my emotion and others' emotion. As simple as that. So how capable I am to manage my emotion and others' emotion, that decides the degree of emotional quotient. That means if I am upset, why I am upset, I know. When I will get upset again, I should know. If I don't know about my emotion, I really don't know. Now my mood is not that good. Sorry, let me talk about this tomorrow. That means I really don't know. I have no control on my emotion. I have no means to manage my emotions. And then if my wife is upset, I have to know, oh my God, she is upset now. Now how to manage that emotion? If I can manage it, my EQ is good. For example, one of my friend, he was telling 2-3 times at in the office, saying that, oh my God, today morning it was I was at the peak of my tension at my home. What happened? Then he was explaining that my wife was sick and she was in the bedroom, and she asked me, please, I want some boiled milk with some sugar to drink. Now I can't walk, I can't go to kitchen. Please get me some boiled milk. Milk is there in the refrigerator, take it, please boil it, 1 glass, put some sugar and bring me. Okay, this fellow went to the kitchen and he boiled it, and it was in the kitchen stove. And after 5 minutes, wife started asking him, oh, what happened? No, the milk is still not boiling. I'm waiting. Please keep the flame little high. How long you will take to boil a milk? Wife was screaming. Okay, this fellow was, yeah, I will increase the flame. Now another 5 minutes gone. And wife is shouting, what happened to the milk? I really don't know. You are taking 10 minutes to boil a glass of milk. What is this? Then he checked, okay, come on, wait, I will come. This fellow looked at the milk, why it is not boiling. Then he realized dosa batter, that was the one he took from the fridge as a milk, and he kept it in the fire. You know, dosa batter will not boil at all. Now he found, oh my God, I made it. Blender. Now immediately this fellow says, you know, you might have seen in a movie, somebody killed someone, and how much struggle this fellow will have to discard that dead body without knowing anybody. That much struggle I had at my home to hide that. I took dosa batter to boil it in the stove, and he quickly discarded everything, and then real milk he boiled it and he gave to his wife. Now, what kind of, how he is managing it? What kind of emotions he went through, and what kind of emotions he had to manage his wife now. Why 20 minutes for boiling a milk? All that accounts for the capability of myself, my mind, how I manage my emotions and how I manage my wife's emotion. And if you search in Google, they say that IQ plus EQ equal to success. But in fact, 10 years before, they coined a new word called SQ. They said, no. IQ is not enough. EQ is not enough. If anybody wants to be successful, they should have high SQ. Maybe 20% IQ is enough. You know, because you can hire any intelligent guy. If you don't know, you can ask anyone to advise. So IQ can be hired. Whereas EQ cannot be hired. Oh, come on, please tell me now my wife is upset, what to do? You can't, because everybody is different. So we can't hire EQ. So EQ is maybe, I need it. But SQ is spiritual quotient. What is this spiritual quotient? They say ultimate intelligence. That is a supreme intelligence. SQ is nothing but the ability of reasoning. Why I do it? Why I am doing it? What for I am living first? Why I have to work? What is the purpose of my, for example, job, or purpose of taking a coffee, or purpose of talking to, for everything, if I know the purpose, my attitude changes. And that is a key for success, which that's what 10 years back scholars have said. Now, again, Google says if you have IQ and EQ, then your success quotient is this combination of two, or the spiritual quotient. Not at all. Spiritual quotient is totally different from IQ and SQ. We have to understand what is that SQ also. During the 7 days, you will understand many things about IQ, EQ, and SQ in these next 7 days. Now, there is one more thing people added, PQ. That is a physical quotient. How physically you are fit. And then how logically you are thinking. That is IQ. And how you manage your emotion, EQ. SQ is the purpose and meaning. This is called collective intelligence or capital intelligence. If somebody has all these, I'm sure he can live a blissful life. He can achieve whatever he wanted. And he will think only what is possible. That is what we all can achieve it in our life. Now, yoga provides all this success in all walks of life, holistic approach to health, or even any ambition, any goal you have. There is a practical approach the yoga can give you. It is a science of personality development, and it is a way of living life to its fullest. And there are exercises we also teach. Unfortunately, we can't teach through Zoom, but after finishing all these corona issues, you can go to the nearest center, Sky Center, and you can learn all these exercises. Now, can I just want, if all of us can do a small experiment for 1 minute. We will switch on the video, and our senior professor Rajashekar will demonstrate to you just to do just to understand something about our mind. Okay, so Rajashekar sir, yeah. So what we are going to do, please, all of you, there are around 580 people are there today, and please, you sit erect first. Whatever position you are taking now, in a sofa or on a floor or a bed, doesn't matter. You have to sit erect, keep your spine, neck, head, one straight line, and keep your hand in front of your chest with 1 or 2 inch between the palms. Your palms are just 2 inch apart, and it is in front of your chest. Now, what you are going to do, once you keep it like that, close your eyes. First you watch him and then you do it. So you have to close your eyes, completely think about your palm and hand with closed eyes. Your mind is focused on the palm, nothing else. Don't think of anything else. You focus your attention on the palms, both the palms, for a minute. After a minute, when we give instruction, bring the palms close to each other as the professor does, and slide and slowly take it away. Bring it close to each other and bring it close to each other with mind focused on your palms, observing what is happening between the palms. As simple as that. You do it 6-7 times until you feel what is happening between the palms. I hope everyone understood. Please, now you can close your eyes and keep the palms 2 inch apart and start focusing on your palms. Time starts now. Close your eyes, focusing your attention between the palm, and don't open your eyes until we give instruction. Thank you. Be blessed by the divine. Now you simply bring your palms close to each other with closed eyes, with the mind focused on your palms, and slightly take it away. Let the palms not touch each other, and slightly take it away and bring it close. With the mind focused on the palms, observing what is happening between the palms. Do it 6-7 times, and once you feel, once you know what is happening between the palms, you can open your eyes and raise your hand and give us a feedback what you could observe between the palms. Thank you, Rajshekhar sir.
Thank you.
Can some of you can tell us
Yeah,
what did you observe? Those who are non-sky members, please raise your hand and share with us.
Lakshman Subramaniam.
Yes, I could feel the attraction between both the hands near the palm.
Great.
I could feel that the attraction towards coming closer
Okay.
in the palm.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. Excellent.
The unimaginable. I couldn't really. It is outstanding. I couldn't believe myself.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Yeah. Anyone else? One more.
Nirmal Bansali.
Yes, I am some itching in the center of the palm.
Okay. Thank you.
Great. I think we will go ahead, sir. I think.
Mm-hmm.